What's good, guys? Thank you guys for coming over and checking my channel. I'm going to be ranking a lot of your fantasy teams that I couldn't fit in the short form videos, but I wanted to rank them over here on YouTube. A lot of you guys dropped your teams in the comments on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Thank you guys so much for that. Make sure to subscribe because I'll be posting NFL content all season long, and the NFL starts this week, so you don't want to miss out. Subscribe. We're going to start with the TikTok comments off of the recent video. If I reply to your comment, that means you're in this video, so make sure to stick around until the end to see how I rank your team. We're going to start out here on TikTok. We're going to start out with Mark Vientos. He had the first pick in a 10-man. Your running back core is pretty solid with Hubbard and Jacobs. You also have the best fantasy tight end, Brock Bowers. I really like George Pickens in the flex. Obviously, Jamar Chase. It's a 10-man. I'm going to give it a 8.5 out of 10. I'm not the biggest on Xavier Worthy this year. Colton, Mahomes, McConkey, Hill. I'm not sure about Hill. And H-in, 2 Dolphins. If Tua goes down, I feel like your team is not as strong as it could be. It is a 10-man, though. I'm thinking a 8.5 out of 10. Next, we got Duck. This looks like a 14, maybe a 12-man league. I see your names, Hunter, Steelers. You got a lot of Steelers on this team. I'm not the biggest on Freiermuth. Obviously, they got Jonnu Smith. Henderson has crazy upside. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Caleb Johnson is also splitting with Jalen Warren. Next, we got Jackson Schuler with a 12-man from the 5th pick. You got Bijan at 5. That's insane. McBride as well, one of the best fantasy tight ends. Garrett Wilson as your wide receiver 1. I'm not too sure about. Judy's not a bad wide receiver 2. Diggs is questionable for week 1. Still coming off that ACL tear. Bucky's great. Bo Nix will be great. I'll give this a 7.5 out of 10. Next, we got Griggs fishing with a 10-man from the 2nd pick. You got Bijan at 2. That's who I would pick at 2. Great pick. Chase Brown will be great. Jaden Daniels obviously will be great. Nico and London and McBride. This is an insane team. I'm not sure about Zay Flowers, but obviously somewhere there had to be a hole in this team. If he's your flex, that's still a great option. This is a 9.5 out of 10 for a 10-man. You're going to score tons of points every single week. Next, we got It's Justice with a 10-man PPR 8th pick. So from the 8th pick, you took McCaffrey. Coming back, you probably took JSN. That's a reach. That's definitely... Oh, 2 QB league. Wait, OP. Not sure what that position is, but having 2 quarterback league, Fields and Daniels are great quarterbacks to have. And you still have great running backs, Connor, McCaffrey. Your receivers are a bit weaker, but you still have Hawkinson. I give this probably a 8.5 or 8 out of 10. Next, we got Jaden with a 10-man from the 10th pick. Probably took A-Chain, probably took Neighbors or Bowers. Those are 3 great players. Daniels as well coming back to you. We got one of the best quarterbacks and a great RB room. Not sure about DJ Moore. Tyrone Tracy will be pretty good. Watch out for Cam Scatterbo though. 10-man league. This is probably a 7.5 out of 10. IA Prem. Didn't mention his size or what pick he had, but the Chase Burrow stack is insane as always. I mess with that heavy. Metcalf, I'm not too high on. Bucky will be great. Kyron, he's going to go down in efficiency. Bowers is great. And you got Bill in the flex. I like that. I'm not sure how much he's going to get right away, but long term, that's a great pick. This looks like a 10-man. This looks like a 10-man to me. Maybe an 8. Nah, 10-man. If this is a 10-man, this is an 8 out of 10. I am cooked. I did auto. My phone died. Okay, let's see. Let's analyze. 2 quarterback league. Not the best quarterbacks to have. I'll probably want Drake May as my 2nd quarterback. And Tua, not even as my 2nd. I'm not going to lie. A-Chain, great. Chase, great. McBride, great. McConkey, great. JSN and whoa. You have insane skill players on this team. You're only lacking quarterbacks, but they'll still put up some 15 to 20 a game, which is solid. If this is a 10-man league, I'll probably give it an 8.5, 8 out of 10. I can't go too high because of the quarterbacks. Next, we got Case Edits with a 10-man from the 102. You got Bijan at 2, Valid, Neighbors next, and Garrett Wilson and T. Higgins. Your receivers are pretty valid. David Njoku would be great as well. Bucky, a great RB2. Knicks as well. For a 10-man, this is pretty good. I give this a 9 out of 10. Liam with an 8-man full PPR team. Let's see. Chase Brown, Gibbs, great running back upside right there. Nico Igbuka is your wide receiver. Or no, you got Neighbors. Never mind. You have Neighbors. I don't know why he's in your flex, but you have no holes in this team at all. 8-man, probably a 9 out of 10 for the 8-man. Chris Boswell, Rams defense. Okay, you got Mayfield, pretty good. Tyreek, not too high about, but you do have Chase. You do have Kittle. Great options at their positions, obviously. Some of the best. You got K9 and DeAndre Swift. A bit weaker running backs, I'm not going to lie. Marvin Harrison could be better. I'd probably give this a 7.5 out of 10. Dayson with a 12-man with the 7th pick. Okay, you got Genty and McCaffrey. Those are great running backs. And Kamara. You have probably the best running backs in your league. McBride as well. PPR, he's going to go crazy. The only thing lacking is your receivers. DJ Moore and Jared Judy. They're not really too high in my rankings if I had some. I don't have official rankings, but they wouldn't be the most high in my rankings. Kyler stacked with McBride is valid. I'd probably give this a 7.5 out of 10. We got Kyle Bell. He's got his bench and his starters. Let's see. Chase Brown and Bijan, probably the best running back duo in the in your league. Jaden Daniels as well, great. Juwan Jennings starting. I'm not sure about that. I would probably start Travis Hunter instead. Juwan Jennings still has contract disputes and had an injury. I don't know how serious that is though. James Conner in the flex is valid. Yeah, everything here looks great. I'd just take out Juwan Jennings for Travis Hunter. This is probably an 8.5 out of 10, maybe 9. Wait, Garrett Wilson's on your bench? Wait, put him in for Juwan Jennings. This is definitely a 9 out of 10. Next, we got Nate Hoffman with a 10-man from the 108. I like Nico and Brian Thomas. I have both of them in one of my leagues. David Njoku, solid. Ridley, solid on the flex. Jacobs, great as well. For a 10-man, it could be a little better, I feel like. But I still give you a 7.5, 8 out of 10. Next, we got Chubby Boy 41, 10-man. My actual defense is Texans, just not for week 1. That's valid. I have the Cardinals for week 1 because they're going against the Saints, who are starting Spencer Rattler. A lot of question marks over there. Let's see. 10-man, Genty, James Cook, solid running backs. Could be better with James Cook. Puka, Jaden Daniels are very solid. I don't know about Worthy, Njoku, Igbuka. They're all great, but not for start. All of them starting in a 10-man league. I'm not the highest on. I'd probably give this a 7.5 out of 10. Jason with Jaden Daniels, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bucky Irving. Great first 3 off the bat on your roster. Mike Evans, solid. Drake London, I'm very high on this year, especially with Penix. Tucker Kraft is a solid tight end option. Tet has crazy upside if he doesn't keep re-injuring his hamstring. That's the only thing I'm worried about there. Carlson and Broncos defense, 10-man league. This is good for a 10-man league. I'd give this a 9 out of 10. Bunder, 12-man, Diggs on bench. Let's see. Bijan and Taylor, solid running backs. Evans, Rashee Rice, obviously suspended. You're going to have Diggs in that slot. Kamara in your flex is great as well. Joku, Kyler Murray. 12-man league. I'll give this a 9 out of 10. I would love to have this team in a 12-man league. Colston, 5'11", 10-man with the pick 5. At 5, you got Jay Jettas. That's valid. Next, you probably got Josh Allen. Okay, that's pretty early for a quarterback, but can't go wrong with Josh Allen. DK, I'm not the highest on. He hasn't had 1,000 yards. Or Arthur Smith hasn't had 1,000-yard receiver in his offense since A.J. Brown, and A.J. Brown is obviously an outlier. James Conner, Kenneth Walker, not the highest tier running backs, but still pretty solid. Kittle, great tight end. Michael Pittman, not sure about that. Really not sure about that. He does have Daniel Jones instead of Anthony Richardson, which does help. Matthew Golden, crazy upside. I wouldn't start him and Pittman though. See who else you have on your bench. For a 10-man, I'm giving this a 7 out of 10. There's a lot of players I not the highest on this year, especially not high on starting them. Anthony with an 8-man league. Kickers, Jake Bates. Defenses, Broncos. Okay, so you got Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs, solid. Jamar Chase, JSN, Trey McBride. I love Trey McBride, especially in a PPR league. He's going to go crazy. Pollard on your flex. Could maybe try and get a better flex there. He still is the RB1 with Tajay Spears banged up. Mayfield, solid. I'd probably give this an 8, 7.5, 8 out of 10. Could be better in the flex. Yeezy with a 12-man PPR, Kyron and Cook. Not bad, pretty solid. Let's see your receivers. Jefferson, valid. Brian Thomas, valid. Chuba in your flex is great as well. For a 12-man, this is insane. This has got to be a 10-man, I feel like. That's how good this team is. Definitely a 9.5 out of 10. Landon Marsh, 10-man and pick 8. London, A-Chain are great options. McConkey, wide receiver 2. I love your receivers. Chuba Hubbard and A-Chain, solid running backs. Bo Nix, I'm high on. Evan Ingram and Bo Nix stack. Love to see it. And Ricky Pearsall, he's projected a Wait, what settings do you use? Because Bo Nix is projected 35. But anyways, Pearsall is going to do great, I feel like, right away, off the bat. I like this. I'm giving this an 8.5. Nah, I'll give it a 9. A 9 out of 10. We got Aubrey with a 10-man in the 9th pick. Looks like you took Nico Collins. That's valid. Jacobs as well. Solid running backs. Tucker Kraft in a 10-man is a little questionable, but he is the best tight end you can get late, in my opinion, with Jake Ferguson. Jaden Daniels, love to see it. Could be a few better pieces on this roster. 10-man, 9th pick. I'm giving this a 7.5 out of 10. We're going to go over to the YouTube Shorts comments next. We got VMOS with a 10-man league, pick 5. I like Josh Allen a lot. Kenneth Walker and Pacheco, they're not the best running back core. Could be better. I like Kenneth. Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Lad McConkey. You probably have the best receivers in your league. And George Kittle. Because of the running backs, I got to bump it down to an 8 out of 10. Julian with a 12-man PPR, pick 10. I love Jalen Hurts. Kamara and Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones will be splitting the backfield with Jordan Mason, so not the highest on him. Puka, Brian Thomas, great upside, especially in PPR. Emeka Egbuka will be strong to start the season. I'm probably giving this a 8 out of 10 again. I'm not sure about Aaron Jones. 10-man, pick 4. I love Nico Collins. And you got Bijan at 4. That's pretty valid. Travion Henderson, crazy upside. Devontae Smith, Brock Bowers, Zay Flowers. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. The captain, 10-player league, I got pick 8. Josh Allen, love it. Nico and Derrick Henry, elite, solid choices. You don't have the most upside on this team. You have a lot of older players, but still gonna bring it every week and be consistent. 8.5 out of 10. Jovanson Pierre, 10-man PPR, pick 8, went 0 RB strategy. Okay, he drops his strategy, so your RBs are Tony Pollard and Pacheco. Obviously not strong, but not the worst for a 0 RB. Let's see your skill position. So you have Hurts, Puka, London, Kittle. Egbuka, I don't know if I would start him, or McMillan. Him and McMillan are going to be a close call. You're going to have to switch them out every week. But with this 0 RB strategy, I'm giving this a 8.5 out of 10. 4-man. Okay, we got a 4-man from Gaming Sports Prods. Jaden Daniels, top 3 quarterback. Bijan, top 1, in my opinion. Jahmyr Gibbs, top 3. Amon-Ra, Nico are your only weak spots. That's crazy to say. You could add Neighbors, Puka, CD, Jefferson, Chase, all above them, in my opinion. George Kittle, still a great tight end. I'm giving this a 8 out of 10. I wish you had a little bit stronger receivers. I'm not the highest on Amon-Ra this year. Viral Moments 1000. 10-man league, I got pick 10. Drake May in a 10-man league. That's still pretty good. Amarian Hampton, I'm high on him. Isaiah Pacheco, not high on him. Nico, Puka, JSN, great receivers. Tucker Kraft, I'm giving this a 7.5 out of 10. Your bench is insanely strong, never mind. 8.5. Just because of your bench, I'm giving you an 8.5 out of 10. Let's go over to the Instagram comments. We got a few here. Michael Howard, 103, 10-man league, and 1 flex. I like Mahomes, Saquon, Josh Jacobs, strong running backs. Drake London and Sutton, okay. Devontae Smith or Trevion. That is a tough decision to have, but great decision to have because you have so many great players on this team. I like Jake Ferguson as well. I'm giving this one an 8.5 out of 10. I could bump it to 9 if Trevion breaks out. Next is Tyler, 102, 12-man, 3 wide receivers league. Dak, Saquon, and Bucky are strong running backs. JSN, Metcalf, Rice, who obviously is suspended. Diggs is not the strongest third wide receiver, especially because he's coming off the ACL. He's still questionable for week 1. I like Kelsey. Dobbins is not the best flex player, especially in a 12-man. I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. Your running backs are strong, just not your receivers. Ed with the 11th pick in a 12-man non-PPR league. Daniels, Chase Brown, and Taylor. I like those running backs. Evans and Sutton, Jameson Williams, Mark Andrews. I like this a lot because your skill players, your pass catchers, they don't rely on PPR to score points. They get touchdowns. They get long catches, especially Jameson Williams. I like this a lot. For a non-PPR league, I'm giving you an 8.5, 9 out of 10. 2 more teams here. Braden with a 14-man league from the 10. Dak, Genti, Chuba, Nico, DK, David, Calvin Ridley. This is insane for a 14-man league. This is a 9.5 out of 10 for sure. 6J, Dak, Nico, Jay Jettas, JSN, Rashid Rice, Debo, Olave Swift, Travis, ETN, Najee, Kyle Pitts. Your tight end is Kyle Pitts. I'm not going to say he's weaker this year, but hasn't been produced in the last few years. And your running backs are so weak. Swift and Travis Etienne in the big 2-5 are not the best running backs. The receivers are insane, but I still have to give you a 7 out of 10 because of the running backs. That is it for this video, guys. If you want to be featured in the next one, make sure to drop your team in the comments of this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, I'll be posting NFL content all season long, every day. Make sure to subscribe.